Matt, how in the world are you? Not too good, I take it.
No, I'm doing pretty good. It's been so nice not doing any school. And it's also kind of nice because, like, spring break, is kind of like the midway point. Because I think we're going back on week 7 or 8. And there's only, like, 15 weeks in a semester. At least at Tech. So I'm halfway done, which is very nice. The bad side of that is that I have another half a semester to go, and I've enjoyed doing my nothing.
Your nothingness being done.
It's been a very, very relaxing week. Yep, I've got school next week, and chances are I probably won't be able to come back until the summer. So,
For the podcast.
yeah.
So this may be it for you for a while?
Mm-hmm. But it's been nice.
Well, you have to come back in like 10 weeks when we do number 50.
Our 1 year anniversary.
It'd be really cool if we could just have everyone on the podcast for that one. That'd be cool.
We can just put everyone on the couch.
Yeah. We've got the setup for it.
Maybe. How many people is that? Like 5? Be
Yes.
you, me, Nathan, Wyatt, and Jake.
There's 4 co-hosts. Then me. So yes, that'd be 5.
Yeah, maybe.
We could do it. I mean, yeah. So do you want to know how many weeks been? I don't know. You never asked me these things.
Hey, Steven.
Yes, Matt.
Stop complaining.
Okay.
It's not always I'm just kidding. How's your week going?
Oh, so you do want to know.
No, it's fine. We'll just keep going.
We'll do it live. We don't do it live anymore. It's a shame. YouTube's fault. But anyway, yeah, this week has been not bad at all. I've gotten several things done. Project-wise, I was working on something this week. So the uploads were a little bit late coming to YouTube because I could have sworn that I set the, so we did a stream of Breath of the Wild last Friday night / Saturday morning into the wee hours of the morning. And I could have sworn I recorded it at 30 frames per second because the game does not go past 30 frames per second. So it's pretty wasteful to record 60 FPS. Well, it recorded 60 FPS or streamed it because that's the file that I downloaded. So it was a huge couple of files. And uploading it was just taking it forever. So much longer than like a Resident Evil 7 gameplay video would take. So I wanted to get those out kind of interspersed with the other videos. So I think on Wednesday, like I was able to drop like just a whole bunch of videos from the past podcast. And you might notice some audio issues in those. If you're not noticing it, you're not listening because they're obvious. It's the same audio issues from before. I have no idea what happened to cause that. We did, if you listen to the update video, Matt mentioned that was our 4th time recording it. That was absolutely true. And we always got about 5 minutes in and then have to restart recording. Hard reboot, make sure that, there was nothing else open and I could not find out or figure out what was wrong with it. And today's working fine. It was working fine yesterday during a test, so hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's fine. It's fine, Matt.
Good.
I also yesterday loaded my NES Classic with like the full library of NES games. Haven't tried it out yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So, what you playing? What you playing, Matt?
Well, I think, yesterday, I streamed some Dark Souls, and I'm kind of at a point, I'm at a crossroads, because I could either get a few things, or like show a few areas that I didn't get to, earlier through my playthrough. I can just fight the last boss, and then fight, there's technically like a second boss after the final boss. I don't think you have to fight him. But it's like an exclusive thing to Scholar of the First Sin. Or
Scholar of the First Sin, exclamation mark.
Is there an exclamation mark?
You add one.
Oh. The Scholar of the First Sin.
I always read it like Scholar of the First Sin.
Is good.
Yeah, it's great.
And or do all 3 DLC, which basically add, well, if I'm playing it, it will add another maybe 8 or 9 more episodes, like 3 more streams, or 3 streams per DLC, just because I don't know them very well, so I'm probably gonna have to like look up more if I decide to do them. I wanted to go ahead and just be like, hey, viewers, what do you want me to do? But my views are always kind of inconsistent. Near the beginning, I'll have like 2, and then like somewhere in the middle, they'll spike to like 5 or 7, and then I'll go to like 2, and then it's 5 and 7 again.
Yeah.
And usually by the end, I'll have like 3 or 4 people who are like just watching until the end. But Thursday was kind of slow, which is understandable because, again, very hard to make doing stuff on your own entertaining. I really, really wish that I had just like just a big, kind of like the mic that we use when we stream
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like having a mic like that, because then I could at least get like my roommates, like one of them, or my brother if I'm at home, to like talk with me. But it's always hard, like trying to think of something. So I'm just like rambling by myself. But yeah, I will probably come up with a decision by I'll either stream again this weekend or sometime during the week.
And while we don't have you these next weeks/months, will you still be able to stream, do you think? Maybe not as much.
You mean here?
No, not here. Just like, from where you live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to do that.
Because the people demand it, Matt.
They do, yeah. Dark Souls is a huge hit. I enjoy playing it. Everyone else wants me to play Overwatch, and then I play Overwatch.
And then no one watches.
No one watches it because I'm not good. And then it's just like, I do what people want. Like, if you're not going to watch, I'm not going to play.
Maybe you should just get good.
I should get good. I really do need to get good. I've also been playing a lot of League of Legends. Like today, me and my brother played like 5 matches. It was really aggravating because we had like 4 matches where our other teammates would just pick characters that shouldn't go in that lane. Like someone would like choose an assassin to go like a top lane, and normally in the top lane you want to have like a tank or a fighter because they can take hits and they can also deal them. And assassins are really more for like mid lane or like, I guess, bottom. But we just had people picking characters that didn't belong in the lanes that they were picking, and then they would get angry when we'd start losing and tell other people that they weren't doing their jobs. And like, you're the one who's playing a character that shouldn't be in that lane in the first place. So if anyone's at fault, it's probably you. And then the last game we played, we finally won because we had a team that picked characters that they knew they were doing. I'm trying to see like at where I like playing the most, just because there's like 5 different roles that you can play, and there's like 170 champions that you can like choose from, and it's really irritating because I've been learning how to play more mid lane and support. So whenever those two get taken, it's always irritating because like I don't know where to go. Like, I'll go top if you want me to. I'm not that great. I know you're going to yell at me because there's a lot of people in that community that just get super aggressive. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't play this. I have no champions for this lane.
You filthy casual.
Exactly. It's not even that I'm a casual. I just don't know what I'm doing. So I'm really just trying to find champions in each lane that I can play, so that if any of the lanes get taken up and I'm left with like nothing, I can at least play someone and at least just fill a spot. And I'm not just like a bag of garbage on the side of the road. Just like, oh no, take my lane, please. Do it. You want some gold? Here, kill me.
My resolution is not to be a bag of garbage.
Yes, it's been going pretty well. But yeah, it's always fun playing League of Legends with complete and total strangers, and they hate you. It's like, I tried.
Every time I hear the words League of Legends, I always wonder, did they know what kind of acronym they were creating when they titled the game? LOL, 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 LOL. It's just like...
Well, I mean, like, World of Warcraft is just WoW.
Same thing. But it would be like... It's more of a thing now that you kind of just refer to games in acronyms instead of like back in 2005.
Yeah.
So,
like COD.
Yeah. God.
I want to make like a joke, like game cover for like a Call of Duty game, but replace all the people with like fish, and then like actually turn that into like GameStop. It was like, I want to get some credit, and I want them to just like not notice at all. Like, I don't have to be there for them to notice, but just like as soon as they notice, they just like look and it's like, this is just fish.
But it needs to just not be any fish. It needs to be cod.
It needs to be a cod.
Has to.
It would make, maybe not even like whole body, just like replace everyone's head with the head of a cod.
And make the heads like not looking out, but just like sticking up out of like the neck holes. Like,
Go on.
Well, I have been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. So here's the deal with Zelda. It's my latest game. It's that I own. It's the newest game. So that means it should go to the bottom of the pile of games, the literal pile of games that I have to play through. I can't stop playing it, Matt. Oh, please be careful. Yeah, that's
pile.
That's pile 2, by the way. There's another pile in the closet that's even taller. Yeah, so oh my goodness, like I don't know how to stop playing because it's everything I've ever wanted in a Zelda game. It has voice acting. I can't believe it has taken Nintendo this long to have full voice acting in a Zelda game.
I was gonna say, don't they have that in like Star Fox?
Yeah, they've been doing Star Fox voiceovers since '97, since Star Fox 64. Like, they could have started doing that with the GameCube Zelda games. They could have had, like, certain key scenes, fully voiced. But they didn't because maybe they didn't think they could do it well enough, or maybe they feel like they were breaking too many rules of Zelda, which this game is all about doing. Just breaking all of the Zelda rules in Breath of the Wild. There's that. There's all the music is fully orchestrated. Nothing's MIDI, nothing's synthesized. It's fully orchestrated, real music.
It's very pretty music. I think one of the towns, I can't remember. It's like the second town that you go to like upgrade the Sheikah slate.
To fix it, yeah.
Yeah. That town. My brother pointed out that the music kind of sounds like you're in Hobbiton. It's very like homey, kind of like a tavern type feel.
I didn't like the fact that Kakariko Village or Kakariko Village or however you say it, how it didn't have like the classic theme. Like I wish they had done that because they've kept a lot of the classic themes around. What I since we're talking about the music, the um the shrine music is, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's basically it's not exactly the same chord progression, but it's like the same motif that is in the Dungeons from A Link to the Past. The and it's like in Breath of the Wild, it's like it's like really, it's really clever how they did that. Like, it's not obvious immediately, but they'll do that with Zelda music, and it's really cool that they did that with the shrine theme. It sounds great. Like as far as like sound effects go, they're all solid. It's a beautiful looking game. I mean, even the fact that, you know, you go to Kakariko Village and the frame rate drops down to 20 frames per second. It doesn't bother you with a Zelda game that much. Now, so, but yeah, I love that about the game. I love how the emphasis in the game is to explore the open world. Because after Ocarina of Time, like I would beat the game, and then I'd go back in it and just run around Hyrule Field, or, you know, trace, you know, the water going all the way from Lake Hylia to Zora's Fountain. Just be like, oh, this actually goes all the way from, you know, Zora's Fountain through the whole game world to Lake Hylia. And I was like, that blew me away. And you just do random exploring, even though like that game, it doesn't take long to do everything. Like you could probably 100% it in like 30 hours, Ocarina of Time. But you want there to be more to do. There's plenty to do in Breath of the Wild. I mean, another thing about Zelda, like, and I've talked about this before, is I didn't like how the dungeons were such an emphasis, because I would always just want to be out in the overworld, like adventuring. And so they basically took that 8, 9, or 10 dungeon formula and just split it up into like over 100 different shrines that you're in and out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's not, you know, too difficult of a puzzle. But there's just one or two things that you have to figure out, and you're done. So really enjoying that. I do have some gripes about the game. Let me get some of the obvious ones, I think, out of the way. So it's a bit strange. Oh man, I had these all thought of earlier today. Let me get to the one that really bugs me, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet at all. The controls are quite complicated. There's not a single part of the controller that you are not using. I forgot how to look through the Sheikah Slate to like tag stuff, and forgot that it was right stick down, like actually pressing it in, and then you can look and like zoom and do stuff with it, and I guess like take pictures with it at some point. So I completely forgot about that the next time that I wanted to use it. I was like, I know how you can do this somehow. The fact that you can't remap any of the controls is kind of a bummer. The only thing they let you do is swap the jump and dash buttons, which I did as soon as I figured out how to do that, because I could not get used to jumping with X or the top face button in combat at all. That was the jump button in The Last Guardian, and I never got used to it with that game either. Thankfully, jumping's not a huge mechanic in during the combat scenes of Last Guardian. So, but I still would have liked to have that option to remap stuff, and they should just always do that. I don't care what developer we're talking about or what type of game we're talking about, being able to remap the buttons should just be a given at this point. All of the buttons should be able to be remapped, I think. So it's weird that they only give you control over swapping those two. But when you compare this game to past Zelda games, and I've heard a lot of reviewers say this is a great Zelda game to start playing the series. Every single Zelda game is like that. Every Zelda game is a self-contained adventure. You don't have to have any knowledge of Zelda, previous knowledge. You can jump into any game and just go. Like, stop saying that about Zelda games. It's just like a given at this point. But this one is kind of different because it is hard, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
Like, when I played through Twilight Princess, I never saw a game over screen in that game. Unless I, killed myself intentionally, which is fun. When you put the iron boots, because Lake Hylia is so deep in that game, when you put on the iron boots, and then just, you're like, hey, I wonder if I can go all the way to the bottom, take off the Zora tunic, take off the iron boots, and get up to the top before I drown. The answer is no. You won't. So, just doing stuff like that. But this game, you'll die, you'll run into enemies that can one-shot kill you. And the controls are a little bit, they're just weird. I'm still getting used to the fact that, and I've been playing the game for probably about 8 hours at this point. I still have to mentally take a second to be like, okay, what button takes out my bow and arrows that you get in the first 5 minutes of the game, which is also weird because normally in Zelda they don't give you that quickly. And then when you're doing combat and your weapon breaks, I'm constantly thinking okay, what button do I have to press to get into my inventory? And I just recently discovered you can actually pause the game, go into your inventory, and just equip a weapon there. If you don't want to have to be I'm trying to avoid something that's trying to kill me. So it's not very intuitive either. The game tells you some things that you can do, but other things you just kind of have to figure out. When we were streaming, for example, we were trying to figure out how to cook. And the game doesn't tell you how to cook. You just walk up to a pot with a fire, and you would assume, okay, I can go up to it, press A, and cooking will be one of the options. No. That's not how you do it.
The old man did tell us how to cook. And the whole, plateau area is kind of the tutorial. You kind of, learn how to do things in that area.
Yeah.
So it did tell you how to cook. You just... There could be... you could not go to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to because we were we need to get something to go out to the ice place because we kept dying. And we either needed the doublet or we needed to find a way to keep ourselves warm. And just eating peppers on their own wasn't doing it.
Yeah. I wonder if we had cooked peppers. But then again, cooking kind of gives you that option anyway. But I still remember him just basically saying you have to go into your inventory. He didn't say you have to hold the items. And I've just found out recently that you could just hit X and Link will start holding items instead of hitting A to select it and then select hold. It's not really intuitive, stuff like that. And I didn't like the fact that why don't you just have a cook option when you walk up to a pot? That'd be a whole lot easier than open your inventory and hold stuff in your hands and then come out of your inventory and then you could throw it in the pot. And I know that you can do other things you could take food and bait animals with it by basically doing that, or probably horses even too with the apples, now that I think about it. But it's just something little like that just is kind of irksome because so much of the game is polished enough to the point where you could do things any number of ways, but not cooking. You have to be very specific. So if you're going into this game like, and you think like, wow, Zelda's, if you've never played a Zelda game and you play this first, which you can, just don't go back into other games thinking that the other Zelda games are going to be just like this one, because they are not. I mentioned the complicated controls and how, like, you know, switching stuff is kind of, I wouldn't say clunky, it just takes getting used to. Like switching your shield out, switching your weapon out. Also, I don't like the fact that you could take your bow out, or you could take your weapon out to throw it. Like, those are both like shoulder buttons, right shoulder buttons, and it's kind of like, I don't know. There's something about that I always like end up hitting the wrong button especially when I'm under pressure in the game. But it kind of takes away the simplicity of past Zelda games where you just get something in your inventory, assigned to a button, hit that button to use it. So it's not as simple as past Zelda games, you know, for better or for worse. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. But so far, I'm pretty sure this is pretty much my new favorite Zelda game ever. And of course, Ocarina of Time was on the throne before Breath of the Wild came around. And I still love Ocarina of Time. I still have, you know, I'll still go back and play through that several times more. But it's just such an amazing game. Even though I said a lot of bad stuff about it, like this is like me nitpicking, like really looking for things negative to say about it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.